We are learning a Sikha from Chelik Aleph, the last Sikha on from Chelik Aleph on this parsha, and it's going to speak about the marriage of Yaakov and Rochel and Leah. And one of the details of it is, as we know the story, that Yaakov wanted to marry Leah, and then he was fooled by, wanted to marry Rochel, and he was fooled by Lavan. And the next day he came to Lavan and said, "What are we going to do over here?" And the whole Tirutzim said, "You know what? You'll have Malay Shavua Zois. When this week is finished, you'll marry Rochel, and you'll work for me another 7 years." But the main point that the Sikh is going to talk about is what it says, Malay Shavua Zois, the din that we derive two dinim from this idea that he had to wait till the end of the week to marry Rochel. Oistes, it's page 56. Hanisui marishayin maksub betoidam hem nisui yitzchak. Ach bekesher l'nisui yitzchak metu'ores rak ha'achonis l'nisuyim. Hanisuyim harishonim sha'atoira metayeres bepirut aseder hanisuyim atzmam hem shel Yaakov bechira avos. So Yitzchak we only know about what led up to the marriage. Avram sent Eliezer. He told him, "I don't want anybody from the Bnei Canaan. Go to my father's house. Go to Lavan. Go to Psuel. Find the person." Rivka was showed her chesed with feeding, giving water to him and to his camels. And then they brought him home, and they saw that it was like Sarah Imai and so on. But the actual discussion of the marriage, there's no discussion when it comes to Yitzchak. When it comes to Yaakov, it does speak about different things that have to do with his marriage. Mehem nilmodes halachas mispar keitza tarich liyas sidram shel nisuyim Yehudim. Min apasik mali shavua zois goimer hanemer b'nisui Yaakov nilmodes shtei halachas. Aleph, halacha shel shivus yemei hamishta, that we're supposed to celebrate with the chasna and kala for 7 days. Beis, another halacha we learn out, ein ma'arvin simcha b'simcha. You don't mix two simchas. Koloimar simchas chasana ein tzricha le'orech bezmana shel simcha acheres. For example, one is not allowed to make a chasana during Chol Hamoed. Why? Because since during Chol Hamoed there's a simcha of the moed itself, so you're not supposed to mix the two simchas together, the simcha of Chol Hamoed and of Yom Tov with the simcha of the chasana. Al kach makshim lechura reiz menuged leklal shall ein lemeidim mekoidim Matan Torah. There is a rule that we do not learn out halachas from things that the Avis or other people did before Matan Torah. Even when it comes to such an important thing like the bris, the Rambam says we don't do the bris because Avram Avinu did a bris milah. We do a bris milah because Moshe Rabbeinu told us about the bris milah. Yes, he told us about Avram and so on, but we're not doing it because of Avram. And this is a general cloud where it comes even to the details of the halachas. We don't learn it out from what took place before Matan Torah. Later on, the Sikha will discuss why is that way. Why can't you learn out halachas from what took place before Matan Torah? Yeser al kein mishnei limudim eila atzmam hari halacha shel shivus yemei hamishta. So therefore the question is, how are we learning out these two halachas? Now, we're saying that the halacha of having shivus yemei hamishta we learn out from the Mali Shavua Zois, and we also learn out the halacha of ein marvin simcha b'simcha. We know a rule that you can't learn it out. Now he's going to add another part to the question. Mishnei limudim eila atzmam harei halacha shel shivus yemei hamishta hirak midrabanon legabei hayom harishon yeshna svara she midaraisa aval shara yomim vadai she midrabanon. There is a whole discussion. Sometimes we have things in the Torah that we learn out begeder shel asmachta. It's not officially a Torah halacha. It's something that we find support from the Torah. in the case of Shivas Yimei HaMishta, even though we say about Mali Shavua Zois, and from this we learn out about 7 days of celebration, the truth is, this is not a halacha min Torah. This is a derabanan. But they have an asmachta support from what went on by Yaakov. And there's an opinion that the first day, but there is a mitzvah, the araisa, to have a simcha. Lefi she'ein zu drasha gemura. They don't have an actual drasha to learn this out. And you could really explain. That's taka the reason why we don't have this min Torah, because you cannot derive the halacha from something that took place then. So just because Lavan told Yaakov, and that's the way Yaakov acted, that he waited a week of celebration, doesn't mean that there is such a halacha midorais. V'im kein matzinu nolmedes b'pasuk ze atzmai halacha. Ketzad nolmedes b'pasuk ze atzmai halacha shel ein ma'arvin simcha b'simcha. Shiladas ha'toisus drasha gemura midoraisa. The Toisus holds that it's an actual drasha, it's an actual din min Torah that one is not allowed to be ma'arv simcha b'simcha. If you're saying that why don't you learn out the Shivas Yimei HaMishta from Yaakov? Because we don't learn out any halachas from the time before Matan Torah. So how are you learning out the halacha that ein ma'arvin simcha b'simcha? So the Rebbe is going to say a very interesting word. There are two concepts. One concept is just a halacha. This is what Hashem wanted you to do. So we're saying just because the Avos did it, just because it says in the Torah before Matan Torah, we don't know that this is a directive that Hashem told us to do it. But some things are more of a description. Some things are a tiur hadvarim. And the tiur hadvarim, the description of something, just like it applied then, applies now as well. Let's see how the Rebbe puts it. Yud. Hateres l'davar hu, she'aklal she'ein l'meidim mikoyim matan Torah hu, b'yachas le'inyonim shel halacha dafka. When you're dealing with halacha, that's what you cannot derive from before Matan Torah. Mishum she'nitna Torah v'nischat she'halacha is the lashon the Gemara. Once the Torah was given, that's when the halacha was created. Halacha is not created in the time before Matan Torah, and we're going to explain the reason why that is so. Why that's so. Aval inyanim shel gilit chunas nefesh ha'adam efshar lilmod gam milifnei Matan Torah. Lefi she'ein b'zeh hevdel bein koydem Matan Torah lebein acher Matan Torah. If you're looking at what the person's natural characteristics are, what his tchunas are, human beings didn't change because the Torah was given. Halachas changed, but the human being didn't change. So we'll see how this applies concerning Ema Arvin Besim. L'chein movin ha'hevdel ben shtei halachas ha'amuras. B'yachas o shivas yimei ha'mishtem yesh tzoyrech lilmod halacha. Because that's halacha. You have to celebrate and you don't have to celebrate. Since it was before Matan Torah, you can't learn out halacha. V'ilu be'inyan she'ein ma'arvin simcha b'simcha nilmad melafnei Matan Torah rak b'kesher l'tchunas ha'nefesh. What is a person's nature? V'halacha shel ein ma'arvin simcha b'simcha anu yoydim memela k'fi sheyuzber l'kamad. Once you know how a person's tchunas ha'nefesh works, then you will understand why, logically, you should not be ma'arv simcha b'simcha. Yudalef. Betchunas ha'nefesh yitachnu shtei svaras. Aleph, b'shasha adam sharui b'halach ruach mesuyam kegoin halach ruach shel simcha harei lemrois sha'simcha hi shel inyan mesuyam misayasi b'chol zois gam lesimcha shel inyan acher lefi sha'halach ruach doime. If I'm happy anyway, so then other things as well will add to my happiness, will increase the happiness. The Alter Rebbe actually says like the opposite of this in Tanya, concerning a case of atzvus, that a person normally should not be in a state of atzvus for tshuva and so on, or merirus, But if he's anyway Otziv, Memila, the Alma, he's sad because of something's going wrong in his life, or he's just stumped. He woke up in a low mood. So use that out for tshuva and using it for atzas and meriris navodas Hashem. So over there we see how two different types of feelings that really are one type of matzav ruach, they're both merirus or atzvus, can contribute to each other, or can be at least turned from one to the other. So one might say that with simcha this applies as well. And the truth is, not here, but in the Halacha, the Rebbe explains circumstances where it does apply. That one simcha will help out the other simcha. But there's another approach. Base. B'shasha adam shari b'halach ruach shel simcha me'ezeh sibah shehi. Harei lo yizu b'lvad she'ein ha-simcha mesayas l'simcha acheres, ela af adraba mafriya lo. Lamroi she'hateitzah b'shnei ha-mikrim em oisa halach ruach. They're both about simcha. Ach me'acher she'hagoyimim heim shoynim v'lechein mevalvel in zezeh. There are different sibois, there are different causes. So there's a simcha, let's say the simcha of Yom Tov, and there's the simcha of a chasana. Two different things. They disturb each other. My mind is too small. Like, either I'm happy because of the chasana, or I'm happy because of Yom Tov. They mix each other up. Chayev hadavar lisbata gam b'toitzos b'simcha, that it's going to ruin the simcha. Not only won't it contribute one simcha to the other, not only won't it add one simcha to the other, but ein ma'arvin simcha b'simcha, because all it's going to do is lessen the simcha. We don't know which one is the correct view, so let's look in what the Torah says a person's tchunas nafshiyas are. He was told malish shavuos. He didn't say, okay, tomorrow get married to Rochel, tonight get married to Rochel. No, wait a week and get married to Rochel. Why? Because of this idea of ein ma'arvin simcha b'simcha. So we're not learning out from before Matan Torah the halacha of ein ma'arvin simcha b'simcha. We're learning out from before Matan Torah that the tchunas hanefesh is that one simcha disturbs another simcha. Once we know from that case, from the story with Yaakov, that one simcha would interfere with another simcha, so automatically we can now decide the halacha that ein ma'arvin simcha b'simcha. So therefore, it doesn't go against the klal that we do not learn out a halacha from before Matan Torah. Now he's going to explain, so what if the simcha is not in its fullest? By the way, this was a sikha that Rebbe said by a Kabbalah's Ponim on Beis Kislev Tafshin Yudalad. That's where you'll see at the end. That's where it's taken from. So the Rebbe was talking by Kabbalah's Ponim, where he was going to be Mesader Kedushin, and he was talking all about the simcha of Chas and Kala. Simchas Chas and Kala tzrichaliyas kechol simcha shal mitzvah simcha kezu u'ba'ofen kazeh sha'adam yeh kulay sham, completely invested in it. Shekain kol mitzvah hikiyim retzoyne yizbarach va'adam tzarech la'asoysay. I think it's supposed to say kiretzoyne with a chaf. Kiretzoyne hu asay retzoyne kiretzoynecha. A person needs to do Hashem's will as if it's his own. And if I'm doing what Hashem wants me to do as if it's something that I want to do, so then when is it possible that I'm doing something but I'm not entirely there? If I'm not doing it because I want to do it. If I'm doing it because I have to do it, so I do it absent-mindedly, I do it without paying attention, I do it completely in a half-hearted manner. But if it's something that I want, so then I'm completely involved in it. So when you make Hashem's will your own, I'm doing it like it's something that I want to do, so I need to be completely invested in it. So therefore, if I want to do what Hashem wants me to do, so then I'm there completely. And therefore the simcha cannot be just a partial simcha. Lefichach tzricha gam hasimcha liyas shel kol hanefesh. Me'achar sheyadua eifesh hasimchas chasm v'kala tzricha liyas simcha boi teishruya hanefesh kula. Because, like we said before, it's a mitzvah of the Eibishter, so the person has to be completely involved. Nilmad melifnei Matan Torah shebetchunas hanefesh mevalvel simcha achas es chaverta umemele yedua she'ein ma'arvin simcha besimcha shel mitzvah acheres mishum shehi mevalvelas simchas mitzvah zu. Now he's going to explain this idea al pi ruchnis enyanim, al pi pnimiyus enyanim. What is this idea of Bechlal? Why do we say ein lemeidim mikoydem Matan Torah? Why don't we learn out something before Matan Torah? Yud beis. Hez bradavar mchinas hatoichna ruchni ha'avis lifnei Matan Torah higiu ba'avodasam ad ledarges shoyrish hanivroim ashleimus hanailus biyoser she'Allah mesugolim nivroim lagia mitzad atzma. We know there is an expression, mekan springen hecher from kop. As high as you jump, you can't jump higher than your own head, because you're going to jump high, your head is also going to jump high. So you can never jump out of yourself, beyond yourself. So as high as you can jump, you'll never be higher than your head. The same thing Chassidus explains. When we connect to Hashem, not because of Torah, but from ourselves, like it was the Avos before Matan Torah, so we could only reach as high as our shoyrish is l'mayla, to the shoyrish of the neshama of a nivra l'mayla. That's how high we could reach. Because as high as I am, I can't get out of myself. Aval kol avidosam hoyse beruchni is. Mepnei gzeiras bnei roimi lo yerdu l'surya bnei surya lo yalu l'roimi ka'amru medrash rabbah. The famous Maimer Chazal that before Matan Torah there was a blockade, there was a separation, just like the king of Rome said that they shouldn't go to Syria and Syria should not go to Rome. The same thing, there was a gzeira el yoinim lo yerdu l'tachtoinim v'tachtoinim lo yalu el yoinim. You can't mix. The Nevroim are Nevroim, Elikus is Elikus, and that's it. I'm going to be the first one to travel past the border. Again, so he went down and the Moshe Rabbeinu went up. Lagia ulis achidim atzmus umuhus ein sof baruch hu kiviyachol mishum shedavar zehu bekoy choyiz baruch v'ani amaskol. Hashem empowered us after Matan Torah to connect and to reach to a level that's beyond anything that we would be able to reach before Matan Torah. So now, based on this rule of the difference between what the others could accomplish before Matan Torah and what we are able to accomplish because of Matan Torah, we'll understand the rule why ein lemeidim from lifnei Matan Torah. V'zu mashmo es ein lemeidim akoyim Matan Torah. Lefi shenitna Torah v'neschacha halacha. Halacha, the Rebbe is going to explain, is from the word going, a way, a road. Lifnei Matan Torah hayu drachim ve'etzes shoynes b'emtzulusam nitn lagia l'mayla v'ad heichen lagia. Let's say, for example, it says that Yaakov Avinu, when he would carve out the maklos that he put over there in front of the sheep, so by doing that, he was doing what we do now with the mitzvah of tefillin. Because before Matan Torah, it was all like open ways to be able to reach Lamayla. But he didn't reach as high as we did with film, because he could only reach the Shoresh and Evroim. Aval acher Matan Torah, nitna Torah v'nischatsha halacha, Nishavu oifanim v'drachim chadoshes ketzad lagia. First of all, there are new paths. Before Matan Torah, there was no physical film. You couldn't even have the physical film. After Matan Torah, you have film the way we have it now. B'shat achadav v'af b'mtzos davar gashmi ma'oimek tachas aloimek roim. A person could rise up to the highest most level from the lowest most level. This is all because nischatsha halacha. It's a new way. It's a new derech of traveling. So that is why halachas we cannot learn out from before Matan Torah. But when it comes to tchunas hanefesh, what's the spiritual idea that tchunas hanefesh you could learn out from before Matan Torah? Lamroisois harei b'chol hakosher letchunas hanefesh nilmad melifnei Matan Torah lefi shaydei kiyum Torah mitzvahs yesh levader ulesaken es einyonim shahayu lifnei Matan Torah. The world existed even before the Torah was given. The Torah was given in the year 2448. The world existed over 2,000 years beforehand. So through Torah mitzvahs, we are refining, we are elevating, we are being maila everything in the world, including the world that was in existence before the Torah was given. Tikkun in shviras hakelim, chaytis hadas, v'shar chatoim. We had to be mesakin what's brought down Kabbalah, that there was the breaking of the vessels that allowed the mitzutzos to fall down here. We are being mesakin the chaytis hadas that took place before Matan Torah. We are being mesakin all those chatoim that it says the 7 generations from Adam till Avram Avinu. There were 7 generations that each one caused the siluk hashchina from one level to another level. Mishum. Seemingly, you're going to tell me, but there was Matan Torah already. There was already all the 7 generations. We said, Avram Avinu, Haydidim, Erekia Shvi, Erekia Hashisha. Until Moshe Rabbeinu, Kol Shvi and Chavivim brought it down here. Why do we have to be Misakin anymore? Because after the Cheta Egel, the dirt came back. The Tumah came back. So we're back to what we were started for before, and we have to fix up all those chatoim from before. Leficha chashuvas gam tchunas hanefesh melifnei Matan Torah. Miachas yesh levarer roisei, we have to elevate it. Yesh ledas b'ma medubar kan. You need to know what the tchunas hanefesh of people were, which didn't change before Matan Torah to after Matan Torah. Ach kol zerak bekesher lemizbarer. The thing that's being refined, the person, so his tchunas hanefesh is the same nefesh that was there before, that's after. The one who does the birudim, the way how the birudim are done, ein lemeidim mekoidim Matan Torah, lefi shenitna Torah v'nischatcha halacha. Once the Torah was given, the halacha, that the again, in the Hanacha, the Rebbe says halacha is from the word halicha. It's a level traveling. It's a path that was a new path designed, a new way of going that was designed to be able to reach up to the highest levels, much higher than the others were able to reach before. So that's why we can't learn out halacha, halichas, the pathways from before Matan Torah. Yudgim. Chodesh Kislev, v'chodesh ha'geula, v'chodesh ha'nisim. First of all, we have the Nisim of Chanukah, which was also to a certain degree a Geula from the Tsar HaTzoyra, the Ivanim and so on. And then, of course, there's the Geula of the Alter Rebbe into Kislev, and there's the Geula of the Mittler Rebbe and Yud Kislev, and the Geula of the Rebbe from his illness on his Chodesh Kislev. ובחודש הזה גילו לנו רבותינו נשיאנו Pnimiyus Hatorah b'midah yisero barchava yisero. Even though there was Pnimiyus Hatorah before Yitas Kislev, and even the oil of Chanukah represents, like shemen, like oil floats on top of water, it represents Pnimiyus Hatorah. But only after the arrest of the Alter Rebbe, after the Alter Rebbe was freed, and the Baal Shem Tov and Mezritcher Magid appeared to him in prison, and they told him, not only should you continue spreading Chassidus, but you should do it even more than you did it before. So after Yutas Kislev, it became in a totally new way. It became the spreading of Chassidus in a totally new way. If you actually look at the Mamorim, if you look at Mamorim and the Alter Rebbe from before Yutas Kislev, it could sometimes be like a half a page, or one side, or two sides of a page. The Mamorim that was said after Yutas Kislev are like a few pages. And then, of course, the Middle Rebbe's Mamorim are like, on what the Alter Rebbe would write one page, the Middle Rebbe would take the same topic and write 10 pages on. So, the Chodesh HaGeula of Kislev is a time when Pnimiyus Hatorah was B'harchava Yisera. What is the great thing about Pnimiyus Hatorah? Shehine senas chayis v'islavas gam begalya de Torah b'kima mitzvahs. Not only when I'm learning Pnimiyus Hatorah is it something that excites me and gives me passion, but it impacts my learning Gemara, my learning Halacha, my learning Chumash, my doing a mitzvah. I'm doing it totally different thanks to the Pnimiyus Hatorah that I learned. Eine doime limud an galya de Torah v'achayis b'kima mitzvahs. Uketoitza mezah hahidur lefnei yediyas Pnimiyus Hatorah al ach yediyas Pnimiyus Hatorah. The Rebbe adds over here in the parentheses that when a person is passionate about a mitzvah, if he's excited about a mitzvah, if he has a chayis in a mitzvah, so then he will do mitzvahs behidur. If a person is just doing the mitzvah because he has a job, I'm a Jew, I have a job, I gotta do mitzvahs. So I do, like the expression in Yiddish is, af yoytze sein. I do it to fulfill yoytze sein yidei chavasi, to fulfill my obligation. But if I'm doing the mitzvah with a chayis, why am I doing a mitzvah with a chayis? Because I learned Pnimiyus Hatorah, I appreciate what a mitzvah is. So then I don't just try to do the basics, I do it with a hidur. And that is totally different, the chayis and the hidur, before I learn Pnimiyus Hatorah to after learning Pnimiyus Hatorah. Ha'idiyah shal Pnimiyus Hatorah and lesenas chayis v'simcha gam b'nigla v'gam b'maisa ha'mitzvahs. Harei Dugmas ha'amur u'besignon ha'amur inyan shal nisgalsa Pnimiyus Hatorah v'nischacha halacha. Similar to what we said before. Nisgalsa Torah v'nischacha halacha. The same thing when nisgalsa Pnimiyus Hatorah, a whole new halacha, halicha, and pathway was revealed. Aifanei halicha b'avodas Hashem that we did not know about before the Pnimiyus Hatorah was revealed. Es asher b'terem nisgalsa Pnimiyus Hatorah loy hoysem nitin lahasig, these levels in avodas Hashem. Ella oy yechides gula, maybe very special individuals, very holy, very mystical individuals could have a type of service of Hashem that was with such a chayis and such a slavos, with such a hidur mitzvah, that now, through Pnimiyus Hatorah, everyone can do. Or if a person wasn't especially edel, if he wasn't especially refined, so then he had to have a lot of work and a lot of effort to try out all different types of paths to be able to reach it. Attain is galsa Torah v'nischacha halicha b'derech hamelech. Derech hamelech, the Chazal say, means a very broad way. It's not a little curvy path that you need to deal with all types of stones or rocks. It's a paved road. It's a comfortable way. Shekol Yisrael mesugolim lagia l'chol zeh b'emtzos limit Pnimiyus Hatorah v'halicha b'adrechesah u'bechlol an inyan hasimcha. Part of this that the Pnimiyus Hatorah gives us is the simcha and the mitzvah. Because again, if I'm doing the mitzvah with a chayis and a slavus, so that brings it to simcha. Sharei hoysezu achs hadrisha shal Baal Shem Tov if the savai besimcha void lifnechein behesem liyadul sharizal zachal l'roch hakodesh simcha shal mitzvah. The Arizal, who was also one of the leaders in revealing Pnimiyus Hatorah, he said that all of his levels and all of his roch hakodesh, he was only zeiche because of simcha shal mitzvah. So we see how Pnimiyus Hatorah and Simcha go hand in hand. So now that we have in Chodesh Kislev the Gilui of Pnimiyus Hatorah and the Harchava of Pnimiyus Hatorah, so our Simcha is increased. Lafia has b'shat tam shetchunas hanefesh. Niton nislil mid milifnei Matan Torah hu bekach sheyesh l'saknes and yom shelifnei Matan Torah. What did we say? The ruchnistic reason. What's the spiritual reason that you could learn out how the nefesh works from before Matan Torah, because the purpose of the giving of the Torah is to be mevarer the world of before Matan Torah. Hari yadua shekemat kol haneshamas doreseinu einon neshamas chadashas. Ki im ke'elu shebo begilgul k'dei lamale inyanim shemekaydim. We're all gilgulim. We're all recycled neshamas. We were here before, but we didn't do everything we were supposed to do. So we get a second chance and a third chance. Ubiyichud, and specifically, it's a very interesting thing that Rebbe points out, what the Alter Rebbe brings down in Hilchos Talmud Torah, that it's especially the Gilgul comes for being misaken things that we didn't learn in Torah that we were supposed to learn in the previous Gilgul. Varikach nifsek b'shulchan aruch Hilchos Talmud Torah l'Rabbeinu Hazaken sheboim begilgulim rabim kedei lahashlim kol ha-mitzvahs v'Torah, to learn those parts of Torah that we didn't finish learning in a previous Gilgul. Heim b'pshat, remez, drush, v'heim b'soid. The Alter Rebbe says you could learn the pshat, you could learn the remez of Torah, you could learn the drush of Torah, but you're missing the soid of Torah, you're missing the Pnimiyus Hatorah. The neshama has to come down again to learn it. Not everybody can grasp the same thing, the same amount in the soid, but every person according to what his capabilities are, what his shayrish or neshama above. ורק על ידי כך יכול הנשמה להסתכן ולהשתלם בצרור החיים של השם במקור שחוץ ומשם.